So there's offense and defense. Man, so I don't even consider myself red pill. I know Rolo's my best friend, but I don't agree with. We disagree about a lot of stuff. Not actually, we agree on 85% of the stuff, but sometimes we disagree. Like I would vote for a woman to be president. He would never do that. We disagree on a lot of stuff. The thing is, for me, I do believe in what most of the red pill stuff and the manosphere in general as an idea, as a concept, I support. But the manosphere is defense. The manosphere is don't get into a marriage without getting a prenup. The manosphere is understanding hypergamy, why she will cheat. The manosphere is defense. Game is offense. Game is how I go out and meet the girl. Game is I need social circle. Game, that's offense. I need my body on point. I need to get in better shape. That's game. I need to merge sets. I need to have pre-selection. All these different things. That part is game. Game is offense. When Erik and I would discuss game, 15 years ago, there was no discussion about whether or not a woman was a conservative or a liberal. I have never one time in my life had a conversation with Mystery about whether or not a woman came from a good family. Not one fucking time ever did me and Matador ever talk about body count. Not one, that term never came up. When I'd be out there running with fucking Adam Lyons or Vince Kelvin or Owen Cook, we never talked about body count 15 years ago. Never. Because pickup was only offense. It was just offense. There was no defense. We never had a discussion when I would sit there with if I was with Neil Strauss or whoever, we never had a discussion about a fucking prenup or her taking half our money in divorce. That came later with Rolo. So Rolo, Erik started Erik is like the first offensive coordinator, right? Erik is like not the Sam Weish, Bill Walsh. Erik is like Bill Walsh. He's the offensive coordinator for the head coach of the 49ers when they won those Super Bowls. Erik von Markovic is like Bill Walsh. He's the first offensive coordinator. Rolo is like the first Bill Belichick. He's like the defensive coordinator. He was like the first ever defensive coordinator. It's so funny because they'd never met until I introduced the two of them. I introduced Erik and Rolo together. They came together on my show one time. They'd never met before. But I really do think people need to understand, like what you're saying, you don't want to get stuck on one side or the other. You need both. You need a mechanism for saving money and a mechanism for making money. They talk about this in The Millionaire Next Door. There's offense and defense. With women, there needs to be a mechanism for offense. How do I attract women? And a mechanism for defense. How do they not take advantage of me because I understand their nature and continue to generate attraction even though I'm in a relationship now? There's an evolutionary hypothesis that when men get married, their testosterone levels should go down. This was a hypothesis postulated, and of course they do the test, and of course you guys know the answer. Their testosterone levels go down. Then there was a second hypothesis that when men get divorced, their testosterone levels should go back up, and they test it, and of course you guys know the answer. Their testosterone levels shot back up. Another evolutionary hypothesis is that when men are surrounded by attractive women, that their testosterone serum levels increase. And of course, UNLV did this study. They did it with sports cars and they did it with gambling. And when men are around attractive women, their testosterone serum levels increase and they take bigger bets. They take more risk because throughout our evolutionary history, only 40% of men and 80% of women have reproduced, which means that bottom 60% of men had to take chances in order for them to have access to women throughout history. Now, a lot of times we take cold approach is taking a chance. It was a way bigger chance 500 years ago to do cold approach than it is now. But that's why we still have approach anxiety, is because of the chance that we're taking from when you consider Pleistocene Homo sapiens. If you screwed up and said the wrong thing, I think it was Erik who told me this. He goes, your genetics are unapologetically weeded out of existence if you go say the wrong thing to the wrong woman. But yeah, that's where that whole concept comes from. But yeah, I like
that. I like the offense defense analogy, and actually, I use offense defense analogy as well as it pertains to game. But to that point as well, if you use like a martial arts analogy, defense is very important, and at the same time, you do want to go into offensive cycles as well. Because if you have really good defense, but you can't finish a fight, then if the other person has more endurance than you, eventually they'll wear you down, right? So it's like a jujitsu concept, right? Having good defense and knowing that you can't be submitted, you can't be choked out, you can't be arm locked, whatever, that's important. And at the same time, you have to transition to offensive cycles to win the match, right? So I like to try to keep guys in the offensive mindset as much as possible, because the defense, I personally think that right now the red pill stuff is being blown a little bit out of proportion. And again, I don't know Rolo, but I do respect him. I have read his book. And I respect all the hard work that's gone into the red pill stuff and the evolutionary backdrop of everything that we do. But I think there are too many loud voices in that scene. And again, as we've talked about, it's getting merged with political undertones. So guys are kind of like, are they getting moved by the political
they're
aspect?
like, fuck
or the
women and fuck
potential-
Ukraine.
Huh?
They're like, fuck women and fuck Ukraine.
Yeah, basically.
They're like, fuck women and fuck Israel. I'm like, what the fuck? Where did this come from, bro? What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
This woman cheated on me. I hate Joe Biden. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. And for me, like, I try to take the political conversations out of my coaching. I want guys to focus on the game. And that doesn't mean that politics is an important part of our life and lifestyle. And especially if it's very important to you and you want to convey that to a woman, right? But game, that the answer, in my opinion, to a lot of guys' issues is not learn as much about the red pill as possible. It's learn about as much as you can about the game and implement it, and let the red pill stuff be a supplement to the offensive cycles.
Yeah, like the red pill stuff is what you're learning when you're in a relationship. When you're in a relationship and you're not going out gaming and you're, being monogamous, you should be reading up on the red pill stuff as quickly as you can.
Even in a relationship, though, I think even in a relationship, don't let the red pill stuff totally taint your relationship. The point where you think, you got to check your girl's phone every fucking couple days because she's probably texting a dude because she's hypergamous and she has another dude waiting. Don't be completely blind. If your woman's going out every weekend without you and she doesn't want you coming with, and you're suspecting things, but even in a relationship, I believe the game never ends. I believe that we should continually court our woman,
Exactly. 100%.
I love what you said about, go ahead.
That was a very good
about fighting. Like they always say, like, that's the most common phrase you'll hear is never leave it to the judges. So like you could have the best defense in the world, but like you have to be able to, like you said, to win the fight. And you don't want it to come down to like, somebody else's decision, or like in dating, you don't want it to become a situation where she's reaching out to you later saying like, why didn't you ever ask me for the date? Or why didn't you ever, make it known?
What Michael was saying was a very good way to think about it. Really good way. The way I thought about it was like, game is getting women, and red pill is like complaining about women in some kind of way. There was a better way I thought about it, but it's something along those lines where, I don't know, I lost my train of thought.
Ice, I look at it like it's not so much complaining about women, but it's more like red pills understanding like the structures of the government or something greater than that has to do with relationships. So it's like, to me, I don't like this whole.
Oh, I remember now.
Go ahead.
So what I was trying to say, and the way I think about it, is game is practical, and red pill, it's like it's dating advice still, but it's kind of like impractical dating advice. Whereas game is like, okay, the answer is similar to perhaps my first ever video I did with Michael Sartain, or one of the first videos. The answer is get more women. More women is like gonna solve a lot of your problems. Not every problem you have, but it's a very practical answer.
The problem is tradcons and the red pill don't like my answer of get more women. I do not think you should sleep with hundreds of women. I think hundreds of women should be attracted to you, though. Yeah. There's two different things. And you don't have to sleep with hundreds of women. But women, everywhere you go, should be attracted to you. So that when you deal with them, you understand this concept. It's like, okay, I'm hearing this girl tell me what she wants, and then I'm witnessing this is not what she's actually saying. Like, she's saying one thing and doing another. And it's okay. I don't hate her for it. But I'm also not naive enough to fall for, I just want a guy who buys me flowers. No, you want a guy you're attracted to buy you flowers. You aren't attracted to me yet. So if I bought you flowers, it actually would lower my attraction with you because I'm paying too much attention to what you're saying. And if I had any ability to look at your previous, boyfriends or whatever, which I do now through social media, there's a digital footprint for me to be able to tell, what you've been attracted to before. I can tell, like, again, I had a girl come on my show. She goes, I'm a sapiosexual. I just like guys who are intelligent. And I was like, stop talking, Savannah, because I know your two ex-boyfriends. One of them is a porn star. The other one's a male stripper who you fucked on Brazzers. And the third one is a male model who is a VIP host. And you just told me you're a sapiosexual. Your last three boyfriends can't even read. Like, stop. Like, but so the thing is, nobody would ever be able to do that. Why? Because they don't know her. Like, I knew her before she came on the show. And and it's just so crazy whenever I hear this. I had another girl. I said, "Hey, ladies, have any of you guys ever slept with a guy on a first date?" And then two of the girls who were on the panel, I'd already slept with on the first date, but they didn't raise their hand. And I was just like, "Oh, so this is what it's like." They're just not going to admit it. Got it. Okay, I understand. I was looking at her, I was looking right at her. I was like, "You slept with me on the first date," and I'm like, but I didn't say anything, obviously. But it's like you don't understand female nature, but you do need to understand some of these concepts. They're going to say one thing and do another. It's not because they're bad, but when you understand, it's like, it's partially because they have a narrative in their head that they need to continue to believe in. As long as you understand that, then you can get along with them just fine. It's like dealing with puppies.
That's why I love sarcasm so much, because it's such a good barometer for that sense of accountability in a woman. Like had I not known this, had I been in your situation, but I didn't know this about her Instagram, and she says she likes sapiosexuals, then I can just be like, yeah, shut the fuck up. Like, no, you don't. And, right. And reading her then based on how she reacts to that, because usually a girl will be, when she is called out, a lot of the times when she trusts you, she'll be like, yeah, you're right.
No, you know what another good one is like when you push it to the other extreme. It's like, I don't know why these girls just don't take all these fucking guys' money. Just take their money, pretend that you're gonna fuck them, just lie to these dudes, just take all them. The girl's like, yeah, like,
right.
You're being sarcastic, and you see how far you can take it. You know what you should do? You should drug these dudes and then take their money after you drug them, and just like Cardi B did. And she's like, yeah, that's a great idea. Let's do that. You know what's a great way to make money? Fucking strange guys on your OnlyFans. She's like, yeah, I agree with that. Right. Just see how far you can take it. Just see how far it goes.
Evil Sartain has returned. Oh my God.
Bro, they talk about believe all women, bro. I have homeboys that I grew up with for 25 years. I don't believe. I got family members I don't believe. You expect I believe all women? I don't believe anybody. Like, people are going to say whatever makes their narrative the best. Politicians, you, me. I tell everybody the fucking Texas Longhorns are going to win the national championship. That's just my opinion. But it's whatever narrative people want to tell themselves, that's what they tell themselves. And women, because they live in the world of emotions, are more subject to their own personal narrative than men who have to live in the real world because we have to make money and lift things. And so because of that, you'll hear them say one thing and do another. It's not because they're evil. It's just because their emotions feel real. They're like, we don't understand as men because we aren't flooded with estrogen. There's a real, like, if I were to push my hand on this door, there's a firmness to the door. That firmness to the door exceeds all of my emotions. I'm not going to ram my head into the door because I'm mad, because I know the door is there. But we don't understand because we're not women. Their emotions are as firm as that door is to me. Their emotions are as real as the door is. Their emotions are more real than objective reality. And so because their emotions tell them that they like sapiosexuals, they'll actually say this out loud, even though it's not true. Make sense? They're passively lying, not actively lying. And if you don't understand that, then you're going to get yourself into deep shit.
It's also wishful thinking. A lot of times a girl will say that because she's like, this is what I should be after. This is what I really want to want. And for some, whatever reason, I haven't been able to.
No, correct. And then they'll complain about guys who are players. And the only reason you complain about something, you don't complain about shit that doesn't affect you. You only complain about things that are effective.
And by the way, being smart is a really good idea. Like, guys who are wondering like how to attract a girl, like, sure, having the body or being like a, sexual deviant, like a porn star or stripper, is definitely going to be one avenue, but just, simply like, becoming interested in a topic and getting really, really good at it, especially something you can express to a girl that with any interest. I mean, that's a lot. I like, just to kind of come back to the point, this girl probably really would like a sapiosexual or sorry, would like a really smart guy to like kind of fulfill that desire for her.